Alright, so before we get started with the review and everything, I just want to give a quick shout out, I guess, to all the people of Fort McMurray because, well, if you haven't heard what's going on already, you're living under a rock. It's very devastating what's happening. You know, it's fire. It's completely out of everyone's control, but at the same time, it's devastating to see what is happening from this end. You know, we're relatively far away in terms of travel, of what people are used to, but you're still in Canada and you're still our neighbors and your family, I guess, to the Canadians. So click on that link. Well, don't click on that one. You can click on the one in the description. If you haven't done so already, help out, donate to them. I'm sure every little bit helps. And yeah, I hope you guys can get through this, and we're here to help you.
Swinging on and happy, hippie, yeah. Hippie, yeah.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Whacked Out ECIG. Today we have a review for the Smoant Night V1 kit. They're calling it the TC kit because it has temp control in nickel, titanium, stainless steel, but it also obviously has regular variable wattage mode and variable wattage mode if that's your thing. So I only unfortunately got one coil in the tank for the kit. I've seen other reviewers getting multiple coils, even an RBA base that is essentially the Kanger subtank one. I only got one coil. It's a Clapton coil, and I can't vape it because it's completely toast now. I've had this for a while and I was testing it out. I can tell you it does vape very similarly to the Kanger coils. Relatively okay ramp up time considering it's a Clapton coil. And yeah, it's nothing really special, but if it comes with the kit, it's a bonus, I guess. What you're going to be paying for pretty much is the mod. So yeah, without wasting any more of your time, let's go down up close, see what comes in the box, how to use this thing, and then we'll come back up and I'll talk to you about my experience using this over, it's got to be over 3 weeks now, probably around a month. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is the box that the Smoant Night V1 kit comes in. As you can see on the front, there's a black version. I think it comes in only black and white. And right here it says your daily pocket setup. That's debatable based on how sturdy your belt is, because this is a heavy mod. So first thing you'll see here says even though it has reverse battery protection, make sure you put the battery in the correct way, which is positive side down. I love to see this because yeah, even though it has the protection, don't want to take any risk. Then you get your user manual, which is okay. Did take a bit of getting used to, but it does the job. This piece of paper is a full piece of paper, but it's basically a user manual for the Talos V1, which is the tank that comes with it, all the specs and everything on there. So the first thing I noticed was that it did not come with a drip tip, and it's really not supposed to because it doesn't fit with a drip tip inside of here. So it's an interesting choice to not include a drip tip, but if you have one, you can just pop it in and you're good to go. The other thing I noticed was that this white on the mod is slightly different to the white on the tank. I'm not sure what the thought process was behind that. It's not that big of a deal because you can put other things in it, but if a small difference like that is a big deal to you, it's worth noting. So we'll take a look at the mod first, and the tank just unscrews like that, place it on the side. Any tank that you have that's up to 23 millimeters around will fit in there nicely. You can see down there there's a little black dot, and that's basically an Allen screw so that you can move around the 510 plate, basically, so that, say this is all screwed in and you can see one of the airflow holes and the other is blocked behind there, you can move that around so that it fits more like that, maybe, so that they're both open. Honestly, I haven't noticed much of a difference between it being blocked off or not, because it fits in there if it's a 22 millimeter. So yeah. Now this is a rubber or silicone bung, and you can put your hand on it and just unscrew it like that, and there is where your battery goes in, and this is the top cap. Now you won't really see any venting on the mod. Some people say you get it out of the 510 pin, the buttons, all that stuff, but the venting is really underneath this. So you can see once your battery is inside, the venting will come through there, and some people are worried about this blocking that venting, but this is so light and rubbery. I've seen it in other mods before as well, that if it does vent, the idea is that this will pop off because of the pressure. I'm not 100% sure if that works. I haven't vented a battery in it, but it's good to know. It's definitely an interesting looking mod. The buttons are there. I've been holding it kind of like that sometimes. It takes some getting used to find out what you find is comfortable, but it's very interesting, and I really like this design. They are clicky as well, if you can hear that, and then your charging port is on the side, so if you wanted to, you could stand it up and charge it, and vape it and charge it at the same time, which is nice. So popping a battery in, positive side down, don't judge me, I'm using an old EFES battery. Fits in very simply. This just screws in, you can use your finger and then tighten it up like that. And you can either leave that off if you want, or pop this silicone cover on there and it's good to go. So the screen is on, and it's a kind of simple layout to this. So it goes up to 60 watts, which is pretty impressive. Progressively it will get faster and faster. That's 60, and I believe this goes down to 1 watt. Not 100% sure, but I'll speed this up for you to see what it goes down to. Yep, 1 watt. I guess it's very similar to like a DNA chipset, I guess, but it's obviously not. It's their own kind of reverse engineered version of it, I guess, and it does have temp control with a bunch of different things. So right now this is obviously in wattage mode, and I can click the power button 3 times, 1, 2, 3. That'll take me to the different modes. So variable wattage, and then you can go down, go into variable voltage, and it goes up to 7 volts. So if you're looking for a very, very high voltage vape, you're not going to get it out of this, but me, I like low voltage vapes, not a problem. And for the most part, no one really adjusts in voltage anymore, so I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. And down to 0.5 volts, which I don't believe anyone is vaping on. So 1, 2, 3, go down 1 more, you get a nickel mode, titanium mode, and a stainless steel mode. So let's choose stainless steel. You go into that, you get your resistance, which right now, okay, I guess it was from the last time, it's at 0 ohms, 60 joules, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Very simply, you can adjust the Fahrenheit just like that, and it does round robin between Fahrenheit and Celsius. And then I believe if you press the right button and the fire button, it should change it into joules. There we go, so up to 60 joules. Sorry if I'm budging the camera. And again, it should go down to 1 joule. And clearly it round robins, so yeah, pretty cool. That's really about it for the navigation of the screen. It's pretty simple. I like the mod, but again, you can't feel it on camera, but it's a very, very heavy mod. Comparable to a Relo, actually. It's really that heavy. Probably not as heavy, but it will definitely weigh down your pockets. So this is the Talos V1 tank that comes with it. You get airflow that stops like that. Decent amount of airflow. It looks more than it actually is, funny enough, but I believe that's because the chimney is pretty restricted in there. It is top fill, so close off the airflow. Unscrew the top and you can fill it just like that. That's very simple as well. And we'll take out the coil. Now, this is interesting because right now the tank is considered full, but since it's top fill, this happens a lot. If you really fill it up and then take your coil out immediately, it could overflow into that chimney and out the mouthpiece or drip tip, whatever. So yeah, kind of a con, not really, because it's standard nowadays with top fill devices. And this is the coil, and this is very similar to the subtank series of coils, the OCC coils. I don't have one on hand, but I have tried one before and it did fit in here, but I believe because of the length of the 510 pin, either that or the pin inside the actual coil, subtank coils do not work in here. So I have seen other reviewers talking about theirs are working with subtank coils. Mine isn't. It's either a quality control issue or it's not meant to do that. So kind of risky, but at the same time, this mod will either come with the tank or not, and really I don't believe you're missing out on much. If it doesn't come with it, you at least get the mod, which is the important part of this, I believe. And then if you get the tank, it's just an additional thing. It may or may not fit your sub-tank stuff. So I'll show you a couple different tanks inside this and how it works. So this is actually another tank that they sent with this to review. It's called the Charon or Charon. I'm not really sure what it's pronounced as, but yeah, it's a big tank, and obviously you need a relatively tall tank to fit in here. But that's kind of what it looks like with a really tall tank on there. Everything is sat flush as well, which has been nice. I kind of like the 510 on this. Popping the Ubertoot in there. This personally I find looks the best out of everything I've used. I find that just looks really nice. There's one airflow hole that just lines up immediately, and I just flicked over that tank and the other one. So yeah, you can turn on the power, use it like how this is, melt the lung maybe, whatever you want. But if you put in a smaller tank, this is where I think they have an opportunity, depending on how popular this mod becomes, I guess. So something like this off of the I Just Start that I just reviewed. If I pop this in here, this is kind of an in-between size tank where it's still considered small relative to other things, but it kind of works. It's just you're putting your mouth right at the end of the mod, and it's not the best. So stuff like this, you can either get a longer drip tip, get used to it like this, but I think they have the opportunity to maybe even upgrade this 510 base to where it can telescope maybe up, or maybe even have a replacement kind of pin that you can pop on top of there like an adapter. That tends to make things ugly. I've seen it done before, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, that's the Smoant Night V1. Let's go back up and talk about how it vapes. Just show you what it looks like. Very nice. Okay, so I've replaced the tank in here with the Charon that they sent me as well. Review will be coming at a certain point in time, relatively soon, I guess. But yeah, this is vaping at 40 watts right now. There's the RBA section in here, which is very cool. It's a velocity deck. 0.3 ohms at 40 watts, and the mod is doing the job. It's providing the power. There's no delay really, so I'll hold it to the mic. It counts, and 0.2 seconds before it started, so it's decent. It does the trick. Holding it now, I'm noticing at least that I'm kind of holding it like that a lot of the time, which looks incredibly awkward. Maybe you can pop your thumb on there. How I really wanted to hold this at first was I would just hold it like that, and then I would fire with my the ring finger of my right finger, if that makes sense. And yeah, that just does not feel comfortable. I've been using my middle finger, and the only problem with that is that I have to keep an eye on where my finger goes, because if I put it there, it covers the airflow, and then it just still vapes. But depending on what tank you're using, like the Ubertoot for example, that finger just blocks the airflow hole. And I guess, yes, you could move around the 510 pin, but it's just something to look out for, that you need to be aware of where your fingers are. So the basics of this mod, the main thing that you're going to notice is that it's very heavy. This is one of, if not the heaviest mod that I own right now. As far as the size goes, it does fit in the hand, and I can see why they're marketing this as a pocket mod, because it would fit in your pocket. It's just so heavy that I don't know if it's a real pocket mod, but it was a lot smaller than I was expecting. You can take other mods in this category, like the what's it called, the Movkin Disguiser, and that just looks like a monstrosity compared to this little thing. There's been a lot of talk about this mod being a clone of the X-Vostick or Zvostic, however you want to call it. That's basically a very expensive version of this. It looks similar. in terms of it's a side-by-side mod. These little curvatures in the design, stuff like that, are very similar, but it's not a clone. I promise you it's not a clone. There are so many differences in this, and the fact that it's a different chip, it I don't know if it feels different because I haven't owned one, but it's from two different people. It's not a clone, completely different packaging. It's just a similar mod. That's like saying if you took anything with a Velocity style deck right now, you called it the clone of the Velocity, right? If you take off the top cap, yes, it looks very similar, but it's a completely different product. So I don't think you're going to have a problem buying this if you think it's a clone, if that matters to you. If not, you're good to go. I can actually hold this like this and just squeeze, and it doesn't fire. So that's another pro. I guess some people will be worried about the button protruding slightly, but it's in a position that it's not that easy to squeeze. And if you wanted to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you turn it off and you're not going to get any firing. So I think that's pretty much it to talk about this mod. It is very cool. It is very different. I was excited about this, but it exceeded my expectations, and the fact that it has stainless steel and temp control, I have tried it out. The coil that comes with this tank was a stainless steel coil, and I tried it out. Still not really a fan of temp control, but I haven't put it down because I haven't tried it enough. This is my first stainless steel temp control mod. But yeah, that's about it for the mod. I don't really have a link to buy one. I have seen them, I think, on Fastech on pre-order or something for like 50 US. Definitely a good deal. Not sure if that comes with the tank or not, but like I said in the up close, doesn't matter. What you're paying for is the mod. The tank is just like an extra bonus, I guess. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the Canadian Vape Expo, and I will be there on Saturday and Sunday. Thursday and Friday, I believe I'm working at the store downtown. Jarvis and Queens, so I can't make it, but I will be there on Saturday and Sunday walking around, seeing people I haven't seen in a while, and I see Pacific Smoke is there, but I don't know if Sean is going to be there. So if you're watching this, Sean, let me know. If not, I'll just shoot you a message and ask you, because that's how the internets work. That's about it for the mod. Keep a lookout for it. It's definitely cool, it's different, and it's worth a try for 50 bucks. Yes, I would buy this myself, but I already have one. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.